We must not cease from exploration, and the end of all of our exploring will be to arrive where we began and to know the place for the first time. I love this quote. Here's a few things I love about it. Number one, it talks about exploration and the value of exploration. And it says we must not cease from exploring, which I do believe is important. I think no matter how old you are, no matter how secure and stable you are, I think it's always important to continue learning new things, at the very least because it's good for you. But aside from that, you might find something new, and it might be better than what you have currently. It might be more interesting. It might just be more exciting. The other thing I love about this quote, though, is it speaks to something that I've been noticing a lot. You might think you know a place, for example, where you began exploring. You might think that you knew it, and you left, and you went out to find something new. And then as you are exploring, you learn new things, you discover new things, and you start focusing on new things. And then by the time you come back to where you started, the place is totally new, or as T.S. Eliot puts it, and you will know it for the first time. I think that is such a cool quote. It's so cool. It's so circular, but it also is just so valuable. I think the lesson that I learned from that is that you see what you pay attention to. Your brain is only capable of processing so many things at once. There's so much going on out there that your brain is basically filtering it down to whatever it perceives as important. So for example, if you're a car guy and you're driving down the street, you're going to notice all the cars, but you might not notice that there's an ultra rare bird up in the tree because that's not what you're paying attention to. Or for me, for example, I'm a videographer. I tend to notice colors, I notice composition, I love seeing things that are complementary colors, or just generally aesthetic. I notice that kind of stuff. But then there might be another person who's noticing the fashion that people are wearing and saying, oh, that's a rare Louis Vuitton purse or something, I don't know. But that's life as a whole. I think life is really what you make it, and that is a prime example of that. Life is what you're paying attention to. And I think everyone knows this. It's the body's way of symbolizing this concept. When you look at something, you tend to go there. I remember in cycling, I used to be on the cycling team in Wisconsin. One thing that I learned is you look where you go. So if you don't want to go into the rock that's in front of you, you probably shouldn't look at it. You should look at the path that's in front of you. And the body and the mind are very similar. And I think the mind is the same. If you want something, if you want to make your life a certain type of way, you should focus on that. You shouldn't focus on everything else. To use the cycling analogy, if you're constantly focusing on what's wrong in your life, you're probably just going to keep going into that. You're going to keep hitting that rock. And that's what I've noticed. That's exactly what I've been doing. I've been over here negative sometimes, bitching about this, bitching about that, and then all of a sudden it just gets worse and worse. And like I was saying yesterday, I think life just kicks you while you're down, and this could be an example of that. It could be that if you focus on everything you don't have, life will keep taking things away from you. But if you continue focusing on things you do have, if you look at the path rather than the rock, life will continue to give things to you and allow you to progress. And this is a lot easier said than done. It is so easy for some people to be optimistic and grateful. And for some of us, like myself, I don't know if it's because I'm half German or something, but it's just a little bit harder. It takes more training. But that's something I'm willing to do because I know it's the only escape. It's the only way out. If I want to continue being miserable, I can continue being miserable and just making things worse and bitching and moaning. But it's not going to get any better. I'm going to be a sick deer and life is just going to attack me. So I've really been trying to practice this. I've been trying diligently to be grateful and to focus on what I do have and think of ways I could use what I have to elevate myself and get myself out of this rut that I'm in. And currently, a funny thing that I'm doing is I might not have a big resume in terms of job experience because all I've really done my whole life is college jobs and videography. But I do have 10,000 DoorDash deliveries. So yesterday I actually got invited for the first time after over 200 applications. I got invited to an interview as an Amazon delivery driver. And yeah, that might just sound so stupid. Like, dude, you have a college degree. You should be a videographer. Like, you need to do something productive. But you know what? It's a step up above DoorDash. There's healthcare. It's guaranteed money. And finally, I might be able to put myself on some type of routine for the first time in literally 4 years. So to me, I'm looking at the path. I'm not looking at the rock. I'm saying, okay, I'm just going to do this for now. Now is not forever, as my parents always say. I can use this as a stepping stone to the next thing. Who knows? Maybe by getting a job, a normal job, maybe some videography company will look at me and say, okay, well, he was an Amazon delivery driver for a year and he filmed videos for a whole year. Clearly he's got motivation. Let's hire him. And then from that, you never know. That's kind of life. You go to one stone and then you can skip to the next, and next thing you know, you're across the river, which for me has been a raging one. But hey, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I love that quote. It's so valuable. I just think that when you change your perspective, the world around you changes. That's all I gotta say today, guys. I hope your world is looking a little brighter. Mine definitely is, because I got an interview with Amazon, baby. Let's go.